So, about those sequels. Lost World. I feel the need to point out that it's named after Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's book, which had a silent movie adaptation that was probably the first live-action movie to ever feature dinosaurs. That's kind of a neat shout-out.
What are you? Is this a bird or something?
It also opens with a scene that I actually remember reading in the Jurassic Park novel. In fact, a lot of scenes that were in the original book that didn't make it into the first movie ended up in the sequels, which is kind of neat. Basically, the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were not supposed to survive without being supplied with lysine. It was supposed to be a fail-safe in case they ever got out. Well, they're out and they're flourishing for some reason, so Hammond sends out Dr. Malcolm along with 3 others to check out the island and study the dinosaurs. I'm going to say right now that both sequels are completely missing the magic of the first movie. Technically, the dinosaurs look just as good as far as I can tell, but it's somehow lacking that grandiose feeling that the first movie had. Look at the first scene with Stegosaurus in Lost World. Now look at the first scene with Brachiosaurus in Jurassic Park again. Again, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the lack of epic music, maybe it's the characters' reactions, but I swear, no matter how many times I see this scene, it still gives me goosebumps and makes me tear up. With this one, I'm just like, yep, those sure are cool looking stegosaurs. Oh, and you know how Jurassic Park had a message about respecting Mother Nature and not messing with forces you can't control? Well, Lost World basically retells that lesson, but in a more obvious and ham-fisted way. With dinosaur big game hunters. Ugh. Hey, you leave that Parasaurolophus alone, asshole. No, really, they are assholes.
There haven't been any visitors to this island. There's no reason for it to fear man.
No, it does.
This is the real reason Hammond sent his group. He has lost control of InGen, and they have sent these guys who want to capture the dinosaurs and put them in a zoo. Yeah, this movie's message is very, Greenpeace. But like I said, the dinosaurs are still cool, and the movie definitely has its moments. It is kind of cool seeing new dinos like Compsognathus, they are such cute little murderous bastards, and Pachycephalosaurus. Sucks that it's one of the first dinos we see captured, but it's kind of cool seeing it headbutt the side of a jeep and leaving a big dent. We also get to see a pterodactyl at the end. Then of course there's the whole T-Rex rampaging through the streets of San Diego at night, which is totally stupid and cliche, but awesome. But everything else is kind of meh. I don't dislike the characters or anything, but they're definitely not as charming as their predecessors. I'm actually kind of surprised that Spielberg was involved with this one. Not his best work. Oh, fun fact. This character, who dies in this really stupid way, his name is Robert Burke. He bears a striking resemblance to real-life paleontologist Robert Bacher, who I have to admit I've always been kind of a fan of.
Imagine you wake up in Jurassic Park and you're a raptor. You have sharp teeth and 7-inch claws, and since you've been extinct for 65 million years, you'd be in a really bad mood.
Anyway, the reason for this is that he's sort of a rival of Jack Horner, the paleontologist who acted as the consultant for the Jurassic Park movies, and a staunch believer that T-Rex was a scavenger. Don't even get me started. While Robert Bacher believes T-Rex to be an apex predator. I kind of think it's in poor taste, but I guess I can't complain because Robert Bacher himself got a huge kick out of it and said something like, "See, told you T-Rex was a predator." But yeah, I'd probably watch this one if I caught it on TV, but I'd probably mentally tune out anytime there weren't dinosaurs on the screen, and it's not something I'd go out of my way to watch. Jurassic Park 3. I feel like I'm the only one in the world who actually enjoys this one. Does it live up to the original? Oh, hell no. And I'll admit that it might have something to do with the return of Sam Neill as Dr. Grant, but I at least like it better than Lost World, which I'll get more into in a bit.
Now what John Hammond and InGen did at Jurassic Park is create genetically engineered theme park monsters.
Huh, his attitude has changed a bit since the first movie.
Don't the monsters come over here?
Not monsters, Lex. They're just animals.
No force on earth or heaven could get me on that island.
No force except money. To be fair, having living dinosaurs exist has severely lowered everyone's interest in paleontology, and he's having a hard time getting funding these days. So when a couple comes along, played by William H. Macy and Téa Leoni, claiming that they have permission to fly over Isla Sorna, that's the island in the second movie, and they want to have him along as a guide, he grudgingly accepts when they offer to fund his research. Obviously, this is with the understanding that the plane will not land there. But of course it does anyway. It turns out that these two have a kid who disappeared over the island with a friend of theirs, and they want to find him.
Ben! Amanda, honey, Dr. Grant said that's a bad idea.
What?
He says it's a bad idea.
What's a bad idea?
What was that?
That's a Tyrannosaurus.
I don't think so. This sounds bigger.
The big bad in this movie is Spinosaurus. It makes me a little sad, but T-Rex was the big bad in the first two movies, so I understand them wanting to change it up. And it turns out the Spinosaur is pretty awesome. But was using the Whorf effect on T-Rex really necessary? Thanks, Jack Horner. Also a neck snap, really, like Spinosaurus is a trained assassin or something.
I have never been on this island.
Sure you have. You wrote that book.
That was Isla Nublar. This is Isla Sorna. Site B.
You mean there are two islands with dinosaurs?
I love that line. I think a lot of people find these characters annoying, and I can see it. Tricking Dr. Grant was a dick move, but to be fair, this is a last-ditch effort to rescue their kid. Even the American embassy wouldn't do anything for them. I mean, yes, it's very likely that their kid is dead, and they should probably just accept it, and they're kind of crazy and stupid for doing this, but I can't totally fault them. And yes, they are stupid.
Okay, fine. Go ahead and scream. And then when that tricyclops attacks you, don't come crying to me.
I think they've seen too many dinosaur movies, and they figure they can just hide out in a cave, and T-Rex and Triceratops will be too busy fighting to notice them. On the other hand, I think it's a bit refreshing to have lay people on the island for a change. Until now, it's all been dinosaur experts to some degree, with a couple of kids. Well, not Gennaro in the first movie, but he was the odd one out, not to mention the first one to get eaten. Anyway, I realize that comedy is subjective, but I kind of get a kick out of them. Of course the raptors are back with a new design for no explicable reason. I guess you could say that the first two movies had females and these are males. Nah, I could buy it if we were just talking about the first movie where they were all female. But there were quite a few raptors in Lost World too, which took place on the second island where dinosaurs were thriving, so some of them had to have been male. Not to mention that it took place on the same island as this movie, so oh well. The raptors also show even more intelligence this time around, with more advanced communication skills. Plus, this one actually catches a guy and uses him as bait to try to lure out the rest of the group. Oh my god, that's the same guy who played Dell in The Green Mile. At least his death is a lot quicker here. Yeah, this movie isn't great. The plot and even the characters are kind of contrived, but I find it good mindless entertainment. This is one that I have watched a few times by choice. At least for the most part, it avoids the preachiness of Lost World.
This is how you make dinosaurs?
No. This is how you play God.
Except for that line. But anyway, I think it's fun, and I definitely enjoy it better than Lost World. I like the characters enough to not have to mentally tune out when there aren't dinosaurs on the screen. Also, no one defeats a raptor with fucking gymnastics, so that's always a plus. They made a surprising choice by having Ellie Sattler being married to and having started a family with some other guy. I feel like this should upset me after they seem to be setting things up between her and Dr. Grant in the first movie, but somehow it doesn't. I guess it's because they never seem too coupley. Like I could see the relationship going either way. As for the dinosaurs, we finally get up close and personal with a pteranodon, which is cool. Apparently this scene, or one similar to it, was in the original book but remained unused until now. Apparently this raft scene is similar to one that was in the book as well. Yeah, we're 2/3 into the movie. It's a little late to be trying to impress us with the majesty of dinosaurs like the first did and the second attempted. And it doesn't work here either. But anyway, we also get to see Ceratosaurus and Ankylosaurus and a few others that I don't feel like naming. Once again, the dinos all look great, but it's still missing whatever it was that the first movie had that sets it apart. They do make an attempt to duplicate the ending of the first movie, this time with actual pterosaurs. Well, at the time this video is being made, Jurassic World has not come out yet, but it does have a sordid past. There have been rumors about a fourth Jurassic Park movie going around since 2001. It kept going in and out of development hell, which is never a good sign. At one point it was going to involve dinosaur-human hybrids. Apparently someone liked this idea since it got as far as concept art and maquettes being built. Geez, I almost literally feel like we dodged a bullet here. Sure, they're neat looking, but this is not why we're watching a Jurassic Park movie. That would have been a terrible idea. How did it even get that far? Admittedly, I've not looked into the finished product too much because I want to avoid spoilers as much as possible. But the trailers look interesting. Apparently they've managed to get control of the island somehow and actually opened a functioning park. Honestly, after the last two movies, I'm not expecting much in the way of a good movie overall. I feel that the best we can hope for is stupid fun. I am looking forward to seeing Star-Lord the Raptor Whisperer and where they go with that. Seriously, they totally went there apparently. I never get tired of this clip. Onward, my minions! But yeah, if it's good mindless entertainment, I'll be reasonably satisfied. Well, I better stop myself. It's never a good idea to get me started on Jurassic Park. That's it for now. See you next time.
We have a Hulk. We have a T-Rex.